Kirby Air Riders proves and shows exactly why Sakurai is loved and is one of the greatest video game developers of all time. Now, if you look at the marketing strategy and plan for Kirby Air Riders, it is incredibly aggressive and people have noticed it. But some people that have a bit more hands-on time when it comes to working on a Sakurai game have actually shed a bit more light on that. So I'm going to discuss that in addition to the incredible Kirby Air Riders Direct 2 that we got, and why I'm more excited than ever, and why more people are more excited than ever for this game, and what makes it so great. So Stealth on Twitter stated that the marketing for Kirby Air Riders has been very aggressive. 2 directs, daily posts on Nintendo Today, Nintendo Music Special Release, very active US/Japanese social media accounts, and a picture of the day starting soon. So that was definitely true. They're doing all of that for Kirby Air Riders, which has some people thinking, why are they doing so much for this game? This game was not a massive seller on the GameCube. It's been 20 years plus or so since the last game. But Kit Ellis, former Nintendo marketing sales manager over there, he talked about this because he's worked and has hands-on experience, especially when Sakurai is launching a game, and he quote tweeted what Stealth had to say and added this: Sakurai is an expert in marketing. He is deeply involved in shaping the marketing plans for his games and make sure that Nintendo executes them in a very precise way. He knows he can utilize all of the channels that Nintendo operates to get maximum exposure for his games. Kit also adds in that it was pretty intimidating working on a Sakurai game because you knew he could probably do your job better than you could yourself. You had to execute to his standard, and I think that's the thing that people need to realize with this, which is something that I stated beforehand when people were wondering, why is Nintendo doing so much for this and they don't have as much for maybe Metroid Prime 4 or Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment or even Pokemon Legends ZA? And it's because Sakurai executes this. Sakurai wants things done in a certain type of way, and I would probably say Sakurai makes a lot of the edits and the structure and the marketing plans himself, so he's actually doing a lot of the work for producer, developer, writer, all sorts of stuff. He has so many hats on when he works on one of his games that, of course, Nintendo's going to oblige in terms of what he wants to do to market his game. He doesn't work specifically for Nintendo. He's not an employee of them. He is a contractor, but collaborates closely with them when it comes to games. And Nintendo is obviously going to listen to him. He's been around for decades. He's created some of the highest selling games of all time, some of the highest selling fighting games as well with Super Smash Brothers. So of course you're going to say, okay, we're going to listen to this guy and we're going to make sure that we execute what we need to do for his game. So I think that's the reason why Sakurai is trying to do everything that he can to make sure that people play Kirby Air Riders, because once again, this is probably not going to come about again. We don't know if we're going to get another Kirby Air Riders game in the future, so we wanted to put every single ounce that he has into it and get it done at the beginning with no DLC, no extra stuff. You get all of the content right then and there. So let's talk a bit more about this second Kirby Air Riders Direct, and this is one of the reasons why I say that he is beloved. He is loved so much by the fans out there, and one of the best, because when you see a Sakurai presentation for a game, when you see the game, it has a certain, I would say, level of polish and cleanness to it. The content in Kirby Air Riders is phenomenal. I want to talk about a couple different things that I found that was exquisite from there. I think that the road trip was really cool, what they did with the road trip, and I want to go over that just a bit. So in that presentation, Mr. Sakurai introduced a new mode called Road Trip. Now you can hit the road and complete different challenges from Air Ride, City Trial, Top Ride, including races, battles, and field events, all while collecting machines and items that you can use between challenges. But this is no random road trip. There is a story behind why Kirby, King Dedede, Bandana Waddle Dee, Starman, and other riders are embarking on this journey, and it's hinted in the presentation. So I think that was super cool that he has a whole separate single player mode built in. This is something that people have wanted to see more in racing games or kind of unorthodox franchises, multiplayer titles that you don't see stuff like this, Sakurai was able to create a whole single player mode road trip that combines elements of all the different stuff that you can do into one. So it's a perfect mode to kind of just jump into, learn how to play a bit, see what the game offers, and of course get some extra value out of the game. Stuff like this is going to endear you to the fans, and absolutely it's definitely showed me that, man, Sakurai, I already knew this, but Sakurai is definitely one of the best. This is an expert marketing and expert game craftsmanship overall. The boss battle aspect of Kirby Air Riders was also really great to see. Kind of gives it that Diddy Kong racing type of flair, but in a Sakurai type of way. So those are also part of the things that Sakurai does in his games to kind of just make it feel a lot more gamey, make it feel a lot more, I would say, interesting for the gamers out there. And on top of everything that they've already offered, it's just another thing that makes this game so much more appealing to a lot of people out there. But before we continue on here, if you're enjoying this type of content, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos as soon as they drop. And let me know in the comment section what you're most excited about when it comes to Kirby Air Riders. Now, another thing with this is the top ride. Top ride is pretty cool because it was in the original, but it's got boosted quite a bit. And I think that some people don't understand, well, it might look simplistic in nature, making a game kind of play like that and incorporating all of the elements that you have, so strategies from the regular game to be able to put over to this, that's a lot harder than it seems. So Top Ride is a game mode originally introduced back in Kirby Air Ride, and Top Ride is all about racing from a top-down perspective and includes courses inspired by those available in Kirby Air Ride. Just as in the other game modes, you can choose your riders and machines separately. You can also use quick spins and boost charges, plus copy abilities such as Flash, which causes the rider to surge forward with electricity. Rivals that are hit will be in for a shocking surprise. There are also items that you can use that are exclusive to Top Ride. So once again, these are the certain things that he does that kind of individualize certain game modes to make it feel a bit different but familiar at the same time. So in the exclusive items to Top Ride, it can help you gain even more of an advantage over your opponents, including the Kabam, Drift Flames, Drill, Driver, and more. Now, Top Ride can be played online with up to 8 players or offline with 3 other players, and you can have CPUs and stuff like that too. So I think that it's pretty cool that they're able to kind of incorporate this and do it in a way to where you can play that online and offline. Once again, that takes a tremendous amount of, I would say, tweaking and support and thought and process to get these things done in this type of way and have it all be played online overall. Now, there's a bunch of other things that I love from this presentation that I think people are really vibing with overall. The amount of content with the paddock, for example, the swap relays, the transform star, the customization, all of these things kind of just build a very big repertoire of just stuff in this game to where when you feel like, okay, it's $70 for this game, so it did go up from what we're usually expecting with Nintendo games, and of course went up from the $50 that we would pay for in the GameCube era. But you feel like, hey, I'm getting everything with this game. That I think that if you're looking at the kart racer wars that people are doing on Twitter and all of that with Mario Kart World and Sonic Racing, Kirby Air Riders is looking like maybe the best one out of the trio. So I think it's pretty cool in terms of what he's been doing and the amount and time that he's taken. Now, one thing that I really want to talk about that I felt that was absolutely phenomenal, and once again just shows that he gets it when it comes to a gamer and what they want in their games: the checklist. Now, the checklist from Kirby Air Ride is back as well. As you clear certain objectives, a checklist box gets flipped over. The more you achieve, the more unlockable content you can access. There are 5 checklist tabs representing Air Ride, Top Ride, City Trial, Road Trip, and Online. Clicking on an unopened box, which is next to an open box, will take you right to that objective, all set up and ready to play. Rest assured that there are no riders or machines locked behind the online tab, so completing that tab is not required. You can jump in immediately and start filling up your checklist. So This is something that, like I said, if you're a core gamer like myself and you like to be a completionist, or you like to kind of have a lot of different things to do, this checklist and having it easy to simply just hop in and start playing, especially if you're pressed on time, you just want to get some quick matches in or something, this is absolutely perfect. And I think that this is the lateral thinking that Nintendo does with their games for a hybrid platform. So they build in these little checklists, they build in these different things that you can do in order to kind of get right into the gameplay. And Sakurai knows this better than anyone. Getting right into content, right into gameplay is one of the most important things. And I work hard when it comes to my editing and when it comes to my work that I do, but I'm the most hardworking, lazy person ever when it comes to gaming. I do not want to take a bunch of time tinkering, a bunch of time setting things up, a bunch of time doing all this other nonsense. That's why I'm not big into PC gaming, or not big into trying to do different types of ROG allies and transferring save files and all this weird stuff like that. I just want to be able to pick up my system and play, and I want to be able to put it in sleep whenever I have to do something and play anywhere that I want. And Switch 2 kind of offers that, and Sakurai understands, and it's built into the game in this type of way. So I love what they're doing with the checklist. That to me was one of the best things of the whole game, is being able to get that. That is a nice quality of life feature, and of course doubles as content as well. And of course the all important thing, making sure that none of it is locked behind when it comes to certain things like with the online mode. These are all things that are just absolutely phenomenal with the game, and something that Sakurai does in his own unique type of way. Now, if all of that wasn't convincing enough, with this second Kirby Air Riders Direct, Sakurai unleashed the beast here. The game needs testing, and it needs probably some convincing for some, and a great way to get that done is the Kirby Air Riders Global Test Ride. I loved this overall. This, along with the online play, where they talked about the various different things with online play and the stuff like the miles and My Machine and expanded rosters and just all sorts of stuff, licenses, global wind power, all of that is great when it comes to being competitive, when it comes to the online play, playing with your friends, competitive, cooperative teams, all of that stuff is great. But I still think that some people are going to want to test things out. So having the Kirby Air Riders Global Test Ride is great. And it's happening, as of the time that I'm recording this video, next week. And it's going to be on various different days, November 8th, November 9th, November 15th, and November 16th. And I'll have the times up for you guys, but it gives you multiple different time slots to be able to get in and test out the game yourself. And in that global test ride, you're going to be able to check out lessons, air ride, city trial, and for air ride, the following courses will be playable: Floria Fields, Wave Flow Waters, and Mount Amber Falls. Players can also jump into the paddock, which they can create a room, invite friends to a city trial, or play with others worldwide. The paddock can accommodate up to 16 people during the global test ride, while the retail version will allow up to 32 players with that as well. The global test ride software can be downloaded from the Nintendo eShop starting the afternoon of Friday, November 7th. So pretty cool stuff to see all of that. And of course, the timing is all there. I'm just excited for that. And I think that the paddock, when it comes to organizing online games and things like that, that's something that Nintendo has had to learn over the years, and Sakurai has had to learn quite a bit over the years with Super Smash Bros. But I think this might be his best work when it comes down to what you can do with the online in this game. Like I said, from the global wind power to the paddock and like the amount of stuff that's in there. I do want to talk about the paddock just a bit and kind of explain it, because it was explained well in the direct, but I found it pretty interesting what they're doing with that. So in Kirby Air Riders, there's a new way for friends to gather for online play in the paddock. Acting like a lobby, this area lets players move around as a rider and set up matches, interact with friends, which mode they'd like to play. It's even possible for several matches to be happening within a single paddock. Players can also change the music. You can also send emotes and work on character poses using the control sticks and combinations. So it kind of adds a bit of a social element to the mix as well. And once again, it's cool because you don't have to have it to where in your paddock everybody's playing the same thing. You can have smaller groups of people playing in this. Or you're saying, okay, I don't want to play that game mode. Somebody's doing a game mode over here. So if you have a good amount of friends or people that you've met, you can have a blast playing this game overall. And I think that this is exactly the type of game that the Nintendo Switch 2 needs. This is the exactly type of game that I like to see when you have the variety and different styles. Yes, it's a racing, action, adventure thingy type of game overall, but it's very different from Mario Kart World. It's very different from Sonic Racing Crossworlds. So it gives you a very unique experience. You're probably going to have people that don't like Sonic Racing Crossworlds, don't like Mario Kart World that much, or vice versa, or whatever the case, or like them a lot, might not like this game, or there's going to be some people that really love this game and not like the other game. So I think it's different enough to really differentiate itself from the other games out there that are in the racing type of category for this year. So it's very exciting. Sakurai has proved why he's beloved with all this content and why he's one of the best. And I think that for me, at least, it kind of brings up all of these aspects of why he is. The content. He brings the hype with content. He brings passion, Sakurai. He brings originality. He brings the sauce and flavoring, like with the menus and the buttons and the cleanness of the game. It's very simple to pick up and play, but it's going to be difficult to master with all the different combinations and different types of strategies that you can do. Legit one of the greatest developers of all time. And I think that this game, Kirby Air Riders, proves that in terms of what he's been able to do and the time that he's taken to do it as well. So what do you guys think about Kirby Air Riders and what Sakurai has done? Are you planning on picking up the game? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos as soon as they drop. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.